Hello all, I'm Dr. Gayathri. I'm an educational therapist and the founder of Flourishing Kids. Thank you all for joining in today. I'm happy to welcome you all on behalf of Ms. Diva Women's Community also. Thank you, Mrs. Asta Jain, for this opportunity. Just a small information about Mrs. Asta. Most of you would have known her. She's the she's a founder of this Mrs. Diva's Presidio podcast, and she's also a business coach for women entrepreneurs. So today's topic is on the importance of one-on-one classes for the struggling learners. So what exactly and who exactly are the struggling learners? Uh, yeah, I'll go to the topic, and in case you want to ask something or anything, you can please post it on the comments. I will be going through it also side by side. So, who exactly are these struggling learners? Struggling learners, they have difficulties, especially in the academic side. They'll be having difficulties like with reading skills, spelling, and sometimes they cannot write out like what they think. They would not be able to put the thoughts out on the paper. They have difficulty in written expression. So these are the things we see, especially in the struggling learners and with the academics. So in schools, like generally for the kids, we can see all these difficulties. They are the struggling learners. They actually work so hard, but the point is they will take longer time and they have difficulty to understand in the regular methods. They need a different method. They need a different strategy. The approaches should be slightly different for the struggling learners. So that's why the main thing is that we need one-on-one classes for the struggling learners. Okay, I'm just checking out comments also so that I don't miss it. So these kids, they require one-on-one specialized classes. Why they require one-on-one classes? Because as I said, they have many difficulties with that. This creates a learning gap. For a kid who is in grade third or fourth, but their reading levels would be little lesser, or their writing, the spellings and everything would be less. So the learning gap keeps on widening. If we don't address it early, it becomes more widened. The kid starts reluctant to the studies. They don't want to read anything. They don't want to do anything. Some kids we would have seen like till their LKG, UKG, or first standard, they would be very active. They would be so happy to go to school, everything. But once they cross that stage, they don't want to read anything. They don't want to write anything. Most times parents say that my kid was doing very well. My kid was doing very well till now, but I don't know why, what happened. They're not at all reading. They are not at all interested in anything, especially related to the academics. They don't want to write. We have to force them. We have to make them sit, or they're not that much interested as they used to be. This is because till the first standard, like at least till the EKG first standard, the kids would be exposed to the same words again and again. They'd be seeing only the same words repeatedly. They know these words, the rhymes. They know the rhymes. It would be repeatedly taught in the classes. So it was easy for them because they were actually not reading it, like spelling it out. For the word, suppose it is mat. If they have to read like at, they have to read. That's how they have to spell it out. But these kids, they would have seen the picture and they would have grasped the idea of math and they will just read it out. So once they enter second standard or second grade, they start having these difficulties because they have to read the word and there won't be any pictures and they start finding it difficult for them. So these kids then start to go into a shell and they don't want to do anything. They don't want to read or they don't want to write. They face difficulties in the academics. So that's what the struggling learners, and mostly we try to see, like parents would be seeing it from the first grade. From the first grade they would be able to see the difference. It's not that the kid suddenly got any difficulty or anything. The kid had difficulty, but we are able to recognize it around UKG or standard, that the kid is having difficulty to read words, to spell the words. They don't know the spellings, they don't know the exact spellings, what to do, what words to be written there. So that's how the spellings start, and the spellings difference, that makes things difficult for them. Till third grade, kids are taught to read. They are taught to read. But after that, after the third grade, they have to read to learn things. So that is the main thing. And that's how many times parents find that the kid is struggling in their academics. Teachers can also find it easily, because once they are seeing a group of students, they can know these kids are having difficulties and they are struggling in their academics. So these kids require one-on-one classes. They require a specialized classes for them. So why this one-on-one classes? Why they require one-on-one classes? Because if it's in a general classroom, or in a group, in a small group or in a large group, when the kid is taught, when they are learning it, when they are understanding the questions or something, it will be like they would be given a chance. Out of 10 students, maybe they would be given one chance. Other things, it would be the same repeating. They would be just copying from the blackboard, or they would be telling the answer along with the other students. They won't be saying it alone. They will say only at very minimal times. So when we give them one-on-one support, that is how they get one-on-one support. They would be like completely into the classes. They have to listen to the teacher, they have to see what they are teaching, and then they have to answer it back. So we can focus more in one-on-one classes. Especially like educational therapists like me work with kids, like work with the struggling learners on one-on-one basis. Only one kid and one teacher at a time. So they can be more involved and more motivated and interested to do the works also. So one more thing, like why this is different with the regular tuitions. The regular tuitions, the which we say, like we send our students to the classes. What is the difference between the general tuitions and this one-on-one specialized classes for the struggling kids? Usually, this is also called as the remedial classes, or this one-on-one classes, the interactive classes. What is the main difference between the general tuitions and the regular classes? To see actually the main difference about these both. General tuitions, actually, yes, it's also like they are concentrating in a smaller group. But the main thing is that they use the same methods which are taught in the school, and again, they are teaching it in the same way. These kids need it differently. If we are not able to teach them the way they want, then it will be difficult for them. We have to teach them in the way the kid learns. So that is how for this one-on-one classes, and the support is given separately here. We will be seeing the kids level, their reading levels, their spelling levels, their comprehension, everything. And then from that level, the classes begin. It's not dependent on the grade level. The kid might be in fourth grade, the kid might be in seventh grade or eighth grade, or even adults, but the classes start at the grade which they need, which the kid needs, the level in the which the kid has to be started. It is like the foundation for them. The skills have to be learned so that they can read on their own. They become an independent reader, and they start to read more and learn more also. So this is the main thing in the classes. And the approach, as mentioning the approach, there is a different approach. It is like a different approach in this one-on-one classes. What is the different approach mainly we use? The approach is called multisensory approach. As the term says, it is like involving all the sensory organs. So it involves like auditory mode, visual mode, kinesthetic or the tactile mode, and also oromotor component. Yeah, these four are involved together. In one spot, they are involved together. I would like to give an example for this approach. If I'm teaching the word cat for the kid, I'll be showing the word letters, CAT, maybe from a book or from a chart, using a chart. I would write it or show it. The usual approach which we see in the blackboards, the teacher would be writing it and the kid would be. This is the visual method. The learner is actually seeing the words. They are seeing the words. They are seeing it and they have to remember it They have to remember the sounds and read the word. This is a visual mode. And auditory mode is also involved here. How this gets incorporated? We say the word while the kid is seeing. The word is cat, cat. I also read with the kid. I also read along with the word. I show the word cat and I also read the word cat for the kid. So visual, auditory. Next one is like the other component is a kinesthetic or tactile component. So here the kid has to move something. They have to move some materials. Maybe they'll be having a letter cards. They have to drag the letters and they have to move it so that it forms a word. Or you can ask the kid to write it. While writing, if the kid is writing on the normal note, k at, the kid is writing it. So the kid is also writing the word and the kid is also telling it orally. The kid has to also say it orally. The kid has to say the sounds and say the word k at, cat. The kid is also saying the word. This way, all four components, as I said, the visual, auditory, the kinesthetic, and the oromotor component are involved together. This makes easy for the things to remember. The kid can remember. There is nothing specific like one learner is like a visual learner or an auditory learner or kinesthetic learner. Majority times they can fit in one category, but we need not put them into this category. We have to teach them in all modes, and this would be very much beneficial for the kid because they are learning the same thing, the same word. So it's not only the kid is just reading it out from a book. The kid is also are reading it, they are saying it orally, they are also writing it. For writing, sometimes we ask the kid to write it on the notebook, or sometimes we ask them to write it in just air. They have to write it on the air. The word, same word, cat, they have to just write it on the air. They have to just write it on the air. So they will remember the word more. They can remember, okay, this is the shape of the word. I mean, this is the shape of the letter, and that is the sound for the word. So all these components are together involved in the multisensory approach. That is the main approach used for struggling learners. Because they are seeing it in all modalities, they can grasp it faster and they would be remembering it also for longer time. Like parents say that my kid wrote homework yesterday, I just taught him or her for 2 hours, but still he doesn't remember the spelling. I was saying it for 10 times and he doesn't remember it. For sometimes the parent asks the kid to write the spelling. They write the spelling for 10 times or 20 times, but my kid doesn't remember. It's because the spelling hasn't been registered in the mind. There are different techniques, and for the spelling or reading, there are rules also. We have to teach the kid like from the foundation level, as I said, from the base level. We have to keep on improving one step on the next step. We have to go to the next step. You cannot expect the kid to write the spelling for multisensory. If the kid doesn't know even the sound for a, e, or vowels, we have to first teach this, then go to the next levels. So the one-on-one classes mainly focus us on the basic levels. Like it is like one level, next level. It goes next, next, next. It doesn't go directly to the which level or directly go and ask the kid to write everything complicated or make them difficult. It is just from the single basic level. The foundation is stronger, then goes to the next level. And one more thing, while we are moving on to the next level, we don't leave the lower level. We just try to sometimes loop in back and then go to the next level. It's not that we go just jump, jump, jump. Okay, today the words have been taught. The words have been taught and go to the next set of 10 words. It's not that way. We just go previous session. We just see what words or what topics. Like I'm saying words because it is easy for me. So it is words or anything. We just go to that previous topic, we just check it out and then go to the next level. uh, Suppose it's like for max is like easy to explain also. If I'm teaching the kid addition, the kid has to know like first with the single digit addition. They have to learn 3 plus 5 is 8. Then only I can go to 2-digit addition. After that only I can go with carryover. Then only I can jump into the next level. I can't give them 4-digit addition and ask them to do it on the first. It is very difficult. So it is the same way for reading also. We have to strengthen their skills, then go to the next levels. This is the main approach in the one-on-one classes. This is called the multisensory approach and each level wise. And the next question, the usual question which is asked is like, for which age is these classes? Is it for any specific age or anything like this? So for this, for age group, it's like the kids can start attending these classes even from the pre-KG. They know if the difficulties are there, the classes would be starting, it would be identified like even around pre-KG. Generally, like from UKG, the kids will start attending these classes. That time is the correct time because the learning gap, as I was mentioning before, it doesn't widen much, and we can correctly target that time and we can easily close the learning gap and we can see what are the difficulties the kid is facing. So that is the correct time. Around UKG, the kid can start enrolling in this class. But saying this, it doesn't mean that if the kid is in high grades, if the kid is in like seventh grade or eighth grade, still having difficulties, they can definitely attend this remedial sessions. They can definitely attend this one-on-one classes. That would improve their confidence. Their self-esteem levels would definitely boost up because they would be already bombarded with so much subjects and everything together, and they will be having difficulties with the basic skills, with the basic level of understanding, the comprehension level. So we can strengthen that skills. So any age, even adults who have difficulties can also join these classes and they can also take in these classes so that, especially as I said, it's not only for the reading or writing, it's also for their self-confidence. They can be more confident on what they are writing, on what they are expressing it out. So the main things covered in these classes or the main things covered out in these classes are reading, how to read out the words, as I was mentioning, reading, spelling. Spellings have a different pattern. They have to learn spelling rules, and there are many different patterns for spellings, and they have to know the exceptions, everything. Then only we can go to the bigger words or multisyllabic words, like the words are very bigger words, and they have to learn that. So reading, spelling, and reading comprehension. Comprehension is the understanding part. The kid has to understand. It's no use that the kid starts reading quite fastly. My kid can read fastly, but still they cannot understand. It's also a difficulty. So reading comprehension. Then is the written expression. Written expression is like, as I said, putting your thoughts out in a written form. It's very difficult. Like for some kids who are struggling with words, they would be knowing more, but if you ask them to write, can you tell anything about park? If you ask them to say it out, they'll be saying so many words. They'll be saying like 5 to 10 lines about the park because they know more about park. They have been to park, they play there, they know everything. But if you ask them to write, if you ask them to write the same, can you write about the park? It becomes a difficult thing for them. It becomes difficult for them to write about the park because they don't know words. They will be having difficulty to start with, to know the spelling of park. There itself they get difficulty. Then after writing 2 lines, they don't know how to put the words coherently. They don't know how to make it into a sentence. So they just start writing, okay, park, slide, seesaw, but they actually want to say, I play in a seesaw, or my friends come together at evening in the same park or something. They want to tell everything, but they have difficulty because written expression is a different skill, and that is also targeted in these remedial classes. Then vocabulary. We have to improve on the vocabulary always so that they get exposed to wide variety of words. There are many words for their grade level, and generally, so we have to expose them to various vocabulary words. That is also included in these kind of remediation classes. All these components together are there in the general remedial classes or the one-on-one classes which I was mentioning. This is the main feature for the classes, especially for the struggling learners. For struggling learners, these are the main classes. This is very much beneficial for them so that, as I said, their levels, everything improve, and their self-esteem, their self-confidence levels also boost up. Just a second. Excuse me. I'm not able to see the comments on the section. I would be seeing at the end and I will try to reply it back. So the next part is like how these classes work in online. Like most parents say that already my kid is not sitting in the online classes. They don't sit much in the online classes in the regular school. Now the school has been changed from past 10 months due to pandemic. Everything has been changed. So what is the difference between that class and this class? So the online classes in the school is a different form because again it is like with many kids together, the whole class is sitting and the teacher has to handle. But for the remedial classes, as I mentioned, online classes is also beneficial and it is like equally important. Like the kid is only seeing the person, they are just seeing only the educational therapist or the person who is just teaching them. So it is like they get the complete attention and they also equally have to sit completely for the 40 minutes, and there would be short breaks like the kinesthetic breaks or a motor break, so that they just move around in the online classes also. And many materials are used in even in online classes. We try to incorporate many materials, either some kind of physical materials for them to move it up. They can use all type of small materials like Lego blocks or the small Jenga blocks or anything, so that they learn it. They also write it and show, and everything is involved both in online and in the normal classes. So these classes are equally efficient for the struggling learners, and they start learning more also in these kind of classes. This is the main feature in these one-on-one classes, especially for who struggle to learn, and it's always beneficial to identify them at the early stage. You can identify if you have any doubts. Definitely go and talk with the teacher. Definitely go and talk with the teacher that my kid is facing some difficulty. You can talk with the teacher and you can talk with the educational therapist and like educators, like you can talk with them. You talk with them and express it out that this is the difficulty. Then they would be giving an informal kind of assessment. So what is this kind of informal assessment? So here we actually check the level of the child. As I mentioned, the reading, spelling, comprehension levels. These levels are checked. We just see it like which level is the kid, and from that level we can take it on to the next level. So assessments are very much beneficial. These assessments only make us to know that which level is the kid, and from that assessment we can take it forward and move it forward. From after the assessment, the classes begin for the kids. So in this one-on-one classes, we'll be seeing the level of the kid and then moving on to the next level to make it much more efficient for the kid. So that is the main feature of this one-on-one classes for learners. I would just briefly go through the comments also. Okay. Yeah. You can please drop in any comments so that in case you need to know some queries, would definitely drop there. I would be answering it up. So this is how these kind of multisensory classes work, and this is like for the kids who have difficulty in the classes. As I mentioned, the academic difficulties, for the kids who have difficulty to express them out, and sometimes for kids like they will be not expressing it out much, but they will start moving into a shell. As I mentioned, they don't know how to express it out, or they start feeling difficulty in their academics suddenly. We feel that the kid was doing well and everything, but now the kid is not able to read. They are not able to read any books or anything. So here we have to see their levels. We have to also see their emotional levels also. We have to see why the kid has suddenly started feeling different. Because kids start knowing that, okay, I'm slightly doing different in the classroom and I'm not able to sit in the class, or they're not able to focus more on the class because they don't know the words and they feel it very difficult. They find it very difficult how to do and what words they should write it, or because they're not understanding it, they face the difficulty also to read it and then write it also. So we have to see how the kid is facing and what the difficulties of the kid facing. Like as I mentioned, these difficulties are visible with reading and spelling. That is the main feature which we can see it out, because we can see it easily with the books and notes because the kid is interacting with us. And especially now because I think parents, especially moms, we sit in classes, like after the classes, we sit together, the kid, and we are making them do homework, everything. Teachers also facing difficulty because they are given only little time, like 2 hours or slot for them to finish the entire syllabus. So they are also managing it up and they're giving us homework. Now you are seeing the kid very closely. In fact, this 10 months, I feel that we are seeing the kid so much closely. We know them more than before. We are able to see them. We are able to see why my kid is having difficulty. Is my kid sitting like comfortably? It's not that you have to sit together in the class and check it out, but you would be able to know it. You will be able to feel that if your kid is interested in sitting with the friends, if your kid is answering more or your kid is not answering more, are they able to write it out? Sometimes while they are showing the presentation and they give some 5 to 10 minutes gap, is my kid writing it out in the same speed like other kids? Is the kid writing? It's not that 1 or 2 days. I'm saying if you're checking it out, if you're seeing it out for 1 month, you would be able to see your kid is not writing in the same level, or sometimes your kid is getting distracted. They just move, they just try to move it out or something, like even in this beginning of the class itself. So now that I think it's the best time for the parents to see how our kid is responding, especially related to academics. And since we are so close also, kid would also express it out. We can ask the kids like, we have to ask the kid like, what is that you find it difficult? Are you finding it difficult or something? We can ask them out. We are seeing their daily notebooks, daily homeworks, everything. It's a good time for us to explore more about the academic side also of the kid. Okay. I think many of you have joined the session. Sorry that I'm not able to check it out in the comments, but I can see many have joined in the classes. So these are the things mainly I wanted to say about in the remedial classes. This is the one-on-one classes. As I said, the approach is multi-sensory approach. The kids know more, they learn more when we use all these four senses together. These four incorporated together at same time, simultaneously, or one after the other. Like just you give them, as I said, the word, you ask them to read it out, you ask them to listen it while you're talking, they will be listening it out while you are saying out the word or sentence. And again, they are moving something, they are writing it out and telling the word, telling it word out. This is very good. And this approach is especially required for the struggling learners. This is the main feature of remedial classes or this one-on-one classes. So thank you all. Thank you all for joining in the session with me today. And again, I would like to thank Mrs. Asta for giving me this opportunity to talk with you all. In case if you have any doubts related to this, definitely you can put it in the comments. I would get back to you regarding this. Thank you all. Bye.